Hey, over here. Man, look at my hair. This is my not a single thing in the world is right here. This is how you know everything's gone wrong. I got such a laughably small amount of sleep in the past 24 hours that I have just not been functioning at all near the level of where a human being should be to be considered alive and not in a coma, which hasn't been great for my productivity. My productivity is definitely down. I spent the majority of my waking hours at work and in this building behind me, the Tillam Library. First of all, because I get internet access here, and second of all, because I thought it would be good to get away from the people that are now living in my house so I could focus and get some work done. Two problems with that. First problem is that everybody in my house was out today, so that excuse was a lie. Second problem is, since when has internet access been something that deters distraction? So essentially, I spent the day watching Community and videos on YouTube. However, the upside to this distraction is that a certain video caught my eye and gave me something to talk about, which is cool. More people keep coming, and it makes me sad. Because I don't want to talk really loudly into a camera in front of people. On a side note, this is a problem I ran into a lot while I was living in residence. I was uncomfortable with videotaping myself talking to put on the internet for literally anybody in the whole wide world to see if the person living next door could hear me doing it. It's pretty strange the difference between having a live audience and having one that's removed through a digital processor and, miles of tubes. I got kind of weird in that last line because there was totally a dude walking by as I said it, and it got kind of meta and really deep. It was super profound, trust me. For those of you unfamiliar with Pogobat is basically this guy named Dan who kind of spearheaded and pioneered the whole large-scale vlogging project thing with his projects Dan.2 and Dan.3. Why didn't you finish Dan.3? No, I'm just joking, that was me. That's not constructive. So anyway, in his latest video, Fartsy, Dan talks about how he doesn't consider any single video in his body of work to be a piece of art, but on the whole, perhaps, yes, the projects, when collected and observed at once as a single form, could be considered art. But regardless of whether or not it counts as art, if you look at it this way or that way or this way, Dan doesn't consider himself an artist. In Fartsy, he also references an earlier video which I've wanted to talk about for a while called Steve Jobs is an Asshole. I don't really care about the Steve Jobs part of it. What I care about is a little tiny lead up at the beginning where Dan rejects the necessity of shooting in widescreen. Because a lot of smartphones, iPhones in particular, don't correct the image and allow you to shoot in an aspect ratio that is vertical instead of horizontal. And he argues that if that's the default and if that's what feels natural, then art and formatting be damned, that's what he's going to do. This lack of concern for proper formatting and the proper understanding of why things are in widescreen, because it better matches the human field of vision and it's where more interesting things are. Less interesting things are up here and down here than over here and over here. Which points to what I consider to be a proliferation of non-artists working in an artist's medium. Sure, film at its birth was purely commercial and purely technological, but quickly it became a home for artists and storytellers, and that's what it has been. Film, and even when it made the transition to digital video, has been a place not only for commercialism, but primarily, most importantly, films are about art. One commenter in specific really hit the nail on the head. Alex Udall Official said, if you make something, anything, it is either A, craft, or B, art. If it has a function like a table or a chair, it is craft. If not, it is art. Those are pretty simple definitions with a lot boiled away, but they're extremely useful, and I'd have to say within the context, I agree. Of course, you can craft as a verb a piece of art, and craft often precedes art. For example, Italian filmmakers in the 1960s would often make documentaries, arguably a craft, before they would make feature-length films. Something that's definitely art. So the question would be, is the generation of filmmakers being raised in this virtual realm of the internet, of being able to publish anything, regardless of production values or readiness, craftsmen or artists? Do we have the right to call ourselves artists? If we have the intention to be artists, does that justify our art? Or can an artist create a craft?